If you make a change, and I know the change was made for them because, they didn't fire Tomlin, but if you're going to have a change, I do think you want it to be different because you want to challenge guys and you want to put them in different circumstances. And maybe TJ Watt and Cam Hayward and a bunch of other guys got too comfortable, right? I mean, maybe it just got to be a little bit stale. Maybe they have to be challenged in different ways. I don't hate it in that regard.
No,
I'm sure it did get stale. They might never admit it.
Right.
But come on, you do the same thing for 15 years, 18 years, or whatever. Cam Hayward's been around. What has it been now? 16 years?
Yeah.
It gets stale.
Yeah.
And I was never a proponent of, that type of thought of Tomlin's message getting stale because there's so much turnover. But seeing a new coach in place, I'm like, yeah, this is something that I can get on board with. Probably should have happened before 2023 or what year are we in? 25. That's it.
26.
I lost 3 years.
When I would have done it, I would have done it in 2017 after he made those comments to Tony Dungy on national TV about what did he say? It's going to be us and the Patriots and in the championship game again. To me, that's when Tomlin jumped the shark. Now I understand you can't do it after a 13-3 season, but to me, that was kind of the flashpoint.
Was that the last time they won a playoff game?
Wait, what happened? What did I miss? What happened?
He went on NBC pregame. They were playing Sunday Night Football in December.
Yeah.
He went on with Tony Dungy on pregame. Taped it earlier in the week, and basically said it's going to be us and the Patriots again in the AFC Championship game. Now I'm paraphrasing, but that's definitely what he said or meant. And they get boat raced at home by the Jaguars before that could even happen.
Wow.
You didn't know that. You didn't remember that.
I don't remember. I was still in college when that happened. I remember them getting boat raced by the Jaguars.
Yeah.
But a shout out to Jalen Ramsey. But I don't remember Mike Tomlin's comments. That's crazy. I can't believe I never knew that.
There's tons of them. What about the Unleash Hell in December? Then they go lose to Cleveland and Oakland within the span of 7 days, I think.
Yeah, that one I remember. I remember a lot of them. Okay. I remember the original cut your eyelids off in Kansas City before they lost by 30. There's a lot of good ones. That's great.
People disagree with me, but I think that was the point where I started having some thoughts.
That was a long time ago.
About Tomlin.
At 9 years. He went 9 years.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Wow, that's crazy. But maybe you're not wrong. And here we are. We're going to find out. All right. That's everything on our agenda. We're going to start diving into everybody's questions. So toss them in the chat. We'll get to as many of them as we can. First, we got a word from our boys over at Prize Picks, and I gotta toss it up here because I forgot to toss it up here earlier, as I do all the time. That's all right. Shout out to Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app and the best place to win cash while watching sports. It's easy. Just pick your players, set your lineups, and watch. You'll pick more or less on individual stats for each player, or you'll pick winner spreads or total on any major game. We got one this week. A little Myles Garrett over on the 14 sacks in a season, on top of Aaron Rodgers, 19.5 passing touchdowns, and Michael Pittman Jr. 4 receiving touchdowns. We talked to Aaron Rodgers. Does Myles Garrett get 14 sacks, and does Michael Pittman Jr. get 4 touchdowns?
Myles Garrett, you would have to imagine that's at the midway point unless he gets hurt, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean,
I'm there too.
You might not be wrong.
I'm a little worried about this now. I mean, when was the last time he had less than that? It's been a while.
It's been a long. I don't think he's ever had. Maybe it's 12, but he's never had less than. It's either 12 or 14 sacks in his career. I want to say it's 12, which is a crazy impressive number.
Yeah,
impressive.
I definitely would take that, but it makes you wonder a little bit. They trying to set me up here. But I would definitely put Myles Garrett over 14.
True.
Easy.
Ray, you going Michael Pittman Jr. 4 touchdowns this season?
That's a pretty good number because you would expect Pittman's going to draw some attention away from Metcalf. Metcalf should be more explosive, maybe get a few more touchdowns than he had last year. I don't know what's going to be left for a guy like Pittman, who's probably going to be more of a possession receiver. So that's actually a really good number. I'd say over maybe, but I don't think he's going to get more than 5 or 6. I think that might be close.
Sometimes you got to walk the line. Using our promo code HMA or by clicking the link below, new users who play $5 get $50 in lineups. Just download the app using the link and the promo code. Can't wait to hear your lineups. All right, shout out to Prize Picks. Shout out to all of our chatters. Toss your questions in the chat. We'll get to as many of them as we can before we get out of here. Let's kick it off with Maddie. Why didn't they try harder to draft a linebacker in the draft if they can see a future without Queen? I think you add on to this. Why did they spend so much time recruiting or scouting, linebackers and then totally ignore it in the draft?
The way I look at it is off-ball linebackers shouldn't be drafted in the first round unless they're elite. Roquan Smith. I think you can grab one of those guys on a second contract like they did Queen. So that's why. I mean, you can't grab quarterbacks. You can't grab wide receivers like Bernard, or even forget about tackles. So when it comes down to it, if those guys were off the board, I'm sure they would have explored a little bit more. But that's one position I think you can just find in the open market here next March.
And the guys they did scout pretty hard, guys, they were what, 2nd, 3rd, 4th round type. So they weren't going to use that first round pick. So, there were a few guys they had their eye on, and I think maybe under the right circumstances, maybe they would have drafted a guy in the 2nd round. But again, like, what's the shelf life of a really good inside linebacker? The guy's name is escaping me right now, but he was really good for the Bengals. And then he just fell off a cliff.
Logan Wilson,
2nd round pick.
He doesn't even play for him anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't play for anybody anymore. He's still free agent.
I thought they traded him. No,
they did, and then he got cut.
And then he got cut. So he was really good for 3 or 4 years, and then off a cliff.
Look at that. Well, Kuechly too. Kuechly is a Hall of Famer. I know injuries had some issues there, but still.
Yeah, sure. It's a tough position, man. You gotta be able to shed 330-pound guards. You got to be able to run with slot receivers and tight ends. I mean, that is not an easy job, and that's it's also wear and tear on your body too. So maybe those guys get worn down too. I don't know.
No, I agree with that. The only thing that caught me by surprise was how much attention they actually spent on the position and how many guys were still. Kyle Lewis was still there at the beginning of the 4th round. Jacob Rodriguez, I believe, was there in the 2nd round. Harold Perkins Jr. went until the 7th, and they met with him at the combine and brought him in for a visit. Totally ignored it. I think that it leaves the door open to see what Peyton Wilson does. That's what I think they did, is say
Peyton Wilson's good.
Yeah, what can
Why
Peyton
would they
Wilson
take Kyle Lewis when they could take Reaching?